What's up, y'all? I am back with another book review, and today I will be discussing Leesha McCoy's completed series, The Perfect Waters, Odessa. It's a paranormal, African American paranormal romance. I found this book while watching D.B. Bray's The Uwe Chronicles, where he was interviewing the narrator for book one, who is Erica, the narrator. And the description that she gave of this book was a love story where the men's extensions are diamond covered and cotton candy filled. So, me being the type of reader I am, I had to jump on it. And this was the first paranormal anything. Well, not paranormal anything, but this is the first paranormal romance that I have read. And honestly, when I read this book, there were times that I forgot that the book was about mermaids, because it was like so easy to see these characters or this story happening outside of the sea and mermaid land. Essentially, the groups that make up this story are royalty, which are the princes, the princesses, the kings, and the empresses. The hounds, which are like bounty hunters for anybody who can afford them. You have the sea witches, you have the guards, which guard the goddesses, which are known as Odessas. And did I say the sea witches? I don't know if I said the sea witches, but yeah, we got sea witches involved, like Ursula type bitches. The plot of this story is pretty much, my description of it is pretty much going to be generational greatness passed down from one black woman to the next. It's really also a story of finding love, finding oneself, accepting one's destiny. Yeah, that's what I got. So my favorite characters in this story, it's probably gonna be different from anybody else you hear talk about this book, because I'm pretty sure most people's favorite characters are definitely gonna be different from mine. Of course, my favorite character, one of my favorite characters, was Asia, who is the sea goddess, also known as Odessa. Then there was Prince Zale, who is Asia's boyfriend. Then you have Calder and Salissa. I had to put my glasses on because I couldn't see all the names that I wrote down. And I was trying to do this video without my glasses because I don't like the glare. I haven't really figured out how to get it to not show other than hold my head down real awkward like. But we gonna rock with it for a while. So favorite characters, Calder, Scalia, Zale, Asia, Wade, Harbor. Calder and Scalia are hounds, and they're pretty much villains in this story. But I like their character because their relationship is absolutely funny. They love each other, but they hate each other, but they can't get enough of each other. So that's like hilarious to see. Zale, he's the prince of Oculus. Asia, like I said, she's the sea goddess known as Odessa. Wade and Harbor are Zell's best friend, who also serve as guards to him and Asia. My least favorite characters in this story were Daria, which is Asia's half sister. Daria does some very unforgivable things in this story that lead into Asia kind of being forced to accept her destiny, which isn't a bad thing because in turn she actually does accept her destiny, but it's just a little irritating because like you got to be like just one of the most, I don't even know how to describe her. My next least favorite characters were the sea witches. I didn't like the sea witches for very different reasons. I like watching National Geographic and water animals, and just like the description of the stuff that they did to the Mariana Trench, which was their lair. Tithaka. I know I'm not pronouncing these names right, but I will have a little in something to figure it out. But I didn't like them. The reoccurring themes that are shown in this series are revenge. You got the revenge from Daria. You got the revenge from the sea witches. You have a piece of revenge from Asia. You have a piece of revenge from Calder and Celia. Loyalty. I think loyalty was displayed a lot in this story through the hounds, which are Calder and Celia. Redemption was shown in this story through the hounds and King Sarah. He is the king of Lion, who in the beginning of the story kind of gambled with the underwater world, and so because of that he fell from grace and he had to build himself back up. The next theme shown in this series was finding love even though it was forbidden. Zell and Asia at the beginning of the story were not able to be with each other because there was a law written that prevented the sea goddess from consorting with royalty. And typically in this story, the sea goddess's mates were their healers or protectors, but they couldn't consort with like the princes and the princesses and what have you. So they were able to get that law abolished in order for them to be together. And I think that was good because I think without them finding love, like this story would have drug on for several books. The hounds, Calder and Celia, they found love within each other. Although it looks like they hate each other, they really love each other and can't live without each other. And like, you know, their relationship was like just a little toxic. And, you know, I like a toxic love story every now and again. Even Wade and Harbor were able to find love. Like, Wade ended up falling in love with Zell's sister. Her name is Nerida. So they fell in love. Harbor actually fell in love with one of Asia's friends from the human world. So that was good to see. My messages for this story, baby, y'all got a pen? Because y'all gonna need one. The first one off top is jealousy can lead to unmistakable consequences. Daria was jealous of the love that her mother, Omarilla, had for Asia. And truth be told, the love that Amarilla had for Asia and her father Josiah. Josiah. His name is Josiah. Fueled her powers as an Odessa. And while I do believe that Amarilla loved Daria, I don't think she loved Daria as much as she loved Asia and her father. So that led to Daria's jealousy because, number one, she wasn't the next Odessa like she thought she was. Number two, she felt like she was held prisoner to the water world while Asia was free to live her life on land and not be known about. Accepting past demons is hard, but it's worth the growth in the end. I say that that's true for Calder, number one, because he has had a long life of being used and misled and lied to by the sea witches and other people that he's worked for. So it's hard for him to, like, number one, let me start off by saying Calder was a master bounty hunter. He killed past Odessas with, no remorse. He did it. That's how he made his living, killing the Odessas. And he was good at it until he met Asia. And then everything changed. So for him, he shows no loyalty to anyone up until he kind of accept his past demons and things that were done wrong to him, and his redemption in the end was sweet. I feel like the last message I'm going to touch on is living your truth. I feel like if Amarilla lived in her truth and let everybody know that Daria wasn't going to be in Odessa, then the story wouldn't have, ended the way it did. For a lot of stuff in this story is centered around Amarilla's withholding of the information that Asia was the next Odessa. And I think had she lived that truth and letting people know that it wasn't Daria, it wouldn't have been a lot of violence. My rating for this series as a whole is a 5. I gave this series a 5 because the character development was on point. The plot of the story was easy to follow. There was diversity within the group shown. And they worked together, so I like to see that. Also, when I was reading this book, I literally forgot that these were mermaids. It had to be reminded. I had to remind myself that these were mermaids that I was reading about throughout this book. So it is what it is. It's my 5. Go check it out. The Perfect Waters Odessas, book 1 through 3 by Leesha McCoy. If you've read this book, hop in the comments below and let me know what you did like. Let me know what you didn't like. Let's discuss it. This portion of my review is dedicated to Erica, the narrator, who narrated book 1 of The Perfect Waters. When I say that I enjoyed Erica's narration of this book, I'm excited to see what she does for book 2 and 3. I could not hear her breathe when she was reading to me. I literally had to stop and make sure I was still listening to an actual human read this book, because it was definitely robotic, but not robotic. Her distinction, her ability to make a distinction between the characters while she was reading was amazing. I think my favorite character from her that she narrated was Noelani, who is a whale priestess healer. Noelani's voice put me in the mind of the witch from the Pirates of the Caribbean. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. She was able to give each character their own accent that separated them from the rest. I think Noelani and Calder were probably my favorite characters that Erica narrated. So yeah, Erica did a good job. I give her a 5 for her narration. Like I said, I couldn't hear any breaths being taken, and that was good. It was also a little scary because I was like, oh God, when does she breathe? But overall, Erica's narration is a 5. The whole series as a whole is a 5. So again, like I said, check out Erica the narrator on Instagram. Check out Leesha McCoy on Instagram, on Kindle. The Perfect Waters are available on Kindle Unlimited, and also they're being recorded for Audible. Book 1 is available on Audible, but 2 and 3 are currently being recorded. Yeah. Be sure to follow Brown Sugar Reads on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Let's get it.